What's going on, guys? Recon Jack here with my Week 8 team builder against Brittany in the Erina Eelektross. I got something a bit different for you guys this week. My internet currently is not working on my laptop. I have no idea why. So I can't bring up the team builder on Showdown to do this normally. So I I made a PowerPoint with my sets, and we're just gonna go through it real quick. Um, so this week, I am going to be bringing my Smurgle, or Smeargle, sorry. So as you can see, it's carrying the Focus Sash with Own Tempo, and it's a modest nature with 252 special attack, 252 speed, carrying that Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Light of Ruin, and Blizzard. So my thinking behind this set, obviously, I want the hazards. Even though Brit has the Skunk Tank, I still like Sticky Webs is going to be huge, especially with things like that Mega Manectric running around, and probably Scarf Darmanitan or potentially Scarf Nidoking. And then Stealth Rock is also going to be huge because of her Voltorn core with Mega Manectric and her U-turning Darmanitan. So, Light of Rune and Blizzard. Light of Rune is in case she wants to lead with Taunt Leopard. Light of Rune will destroy the Leopard. So my plan is lead Smargle if I see Leopard, um, and instead of going for a hazard right away, I'm gonna go for that Light of Rune, expecting the Prankster Taunt, and I'm gonna obliterate. I'm gonna obliterate the Leopard unless it's focus sashed. In which case, um, I am also focus sashed, and I'll probably be able to get another attack off or switch out and then try to come back in later to set up my hazards. Same thing with Gliscor. If I see the Gliscor, I will also be leading Smeargle, and expecting the taunt, I'm gonna go for the Blizzard, and that will also just obliterate the Gliscor. So originally I was running this with a life orb, but right before right before I hopped onto my computer, I was laying in bed, just like kind of pondering how this match could go, and I was like, you know what? I need to be carrying the focus sash. Like life orb Smurgle would be pretty freaking cool, but if she doesn't lead off with one of the like if she leads off with something I'm not expecting and she just attacks in and I don't have the sash, then my hazards are gone and I'm really relying on my hazards this match. So as you can see, my threats for Smeargle that I've analyzed, like the biggest threats, well, really it's any attack, but it's also that Prankster taunt from Leopard and that taunt from Gliscor. Next, we're going to move into my Selgor. He's rocking a Choice Scarf again this week. It's been proven to work for the last few weeks, and I'm going to stick with it for right now. He has the sticky hold, so he can't get knocked off. He's got a rash nature with 252 HP, 36 attack, 152 special attack, 68 speed. Rocking that U-turn, Bug Buzz, HP Ice, and Final Gambit. So the way that my Selgor was EV'd, it can OHKO the Leopard with a U-turn, and I wanted to obviously have 252 HP invested so that Final Gambit can hit as hard as it can. She does have the Trevenant, so I will have to be careful of that because if I Final Gambit into the Trevenant, then there goes there goes my Selgor for nothing. So obviously, the 152 special attack is so that I can be doing at least 50%. It's to do over 50% damage, if I remember correctly. Not, I don't, I think I did this so I can two-hit KO a bulky Assault Vest Trevenant. I don't remember, but I do think that's why those EVs are allocated to special attack, and then the 68 speed allows me to outspeed Scarfed Leopard. So The HP Ice, obviously, that's going to be for the Gliscor, or else I'm not hitting it unless I hit it with the final Gambit, but it's probably going to be carrying Protect, so it's not something I want to be risking right there. Sorry for that. So my threats, again, really any attack. Bugatti, he's frail. I mean, he's a frail bug. He's fast, but does not want to take a hit. And then I'm also worried about Prankster Thunderwave from Leopard, and then the Glare from Drudagon, because if this thing isn't if this thing gets slowed down, then it loses its utility, and I can't have that. Also, Drudagon can have the rough skin plus Rocky Helmet, and if I U-turn, if she switches that in, expecting my U-turn, then my final Gambit is going to get greatly weakened because I'm going to be losing a lot of HP to that Rocky Helmet plus rough skin. Um, and besides that, yeah, Selgor doesn't want to take a hit, but he's here for utility and to nuke something that I don't really want to deal with, like the Suicune. Alright, next we're going to be moving into Sir Kickslot, my Hitmonlee. He's rocking the normal gem with Unburden. He has the Jolly Nature with 252 attack, 252 speed, high jump kick, knockoff, earthquake, and fake out. So this Pokemon, or this slot, I was really unsure of what I wanted to bring. So Brittany's team has like insane coverage, and it is very hard for my team specifically to deal with every sort of threat that she might bring. Um, so I was having a really hard time figuring out my move sets and figuring out the Pokemon that I wanted to bring, and I realized that I can't prepare for everything on her team perfectly. So what I was gonna have to do was, or try to do, was outspeed things, catch things on the switch, break sashes, stuff like that, so that and potentially have priority attacks to attack in and do some chip damage at least, so I can whittle things down throughout the match. Originally, this was a Life Orb set, an Adamant Nature with, instead of Earthquake and Fake Out, I had the Rapid Spin for her Sticky Webs, and I had the Mach Punch for things like the Mega Manectric and the Darmanitan. But I figured I was taking another look at her team a little bit later into my prep, and I realized that Fake Out plus Earthquake pretty much, or Fake Out plus Earthquake or Fake Out plus High Jump Kick pretty much destroys her entire team, save for a few Pokemon. Um, and with Unburden, with a normal gem Unburden, I can get rid of a lead Nidoking, or a lead Darmanitan, or a lead Mega Manectric. I could just immediately get rid of with the Fake Out Earthquake combo right there. Um, and then I could break Sock's Sturdy with Fake Out and then proceed to outspeed because of Unburden, even if the Sock is Scarfed, and then kill it with High Jump Kick. So that's why I was running this set. It was really just like, if I couldn't get my webs up, or if he defogged them or something, this was my go-to answer for something that was scarfed or something that was too fast for my team to handle. Um, a physically defensive Gliscor is a really good check to this set, so I'm gonna have to be careful for that. The Suicune, obviously, if it's bulky, then it's gonna be eating up my high jump kicks all day, and there's not much I can do about that. The Darmanitan, if I don't have my Unburden boost anymore and he isn't caught by sticky webs, then he's gonna be outspeeding me and just destroying me with Flare Blitz. If Trevenant switches in on my high jump kick, obviously I'm gonna just lose 50% health there. And I'm pretty and bulky Trevenant can take a knockoff really well from Jolly Hitmonlee, and then it could probably just recover up with something like Horn Leech, or it could just throw out the Leech Seed, or it could rest up on me and then use Lumberry. So those are the mons that I'm particularly worried about with this Hitmonlee set. Everything else I can deal with pretty well. So yeah, moving on. All right, next we got my balls. Got my Wheezing with the Damp Rock and Levitate. He's bold with 252 HP, 252 defense, and 4 special attack. Not that that matters much, but he's carrying the Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, HP Ice, and Rain Dance. So this is my Pokemon that I can send in on his Darmanitan and on his Sock. I can send it in on his Skunk Tank. I can send it in on his Trevenant. I can send it in on his Drudagon. If, or, why am I saying his? Sorry, Britt. I can send it in on her Nidoking if it's a physically offensive set. I can send it in on her Gliscor. Um, it deals with a lot of her team pretty well, but I have to be careful of things like the Mega Manectric, the Suicune, specially offensive Nidoking, and Darmanitan can still probably do a lot of damage. Even with resisted attacks, Darmanitan is just a powerhouse. So don't want to be taking too many attacks from that, but I can still switch into one attack. He's pretty much just got coverage for everything, or not for everything, but for most things. He's not. I mean, Suicune. Wheezing is not touching the Suicune like at all. The only thing I'll be able to do on Suicune is get a Rain Dance up, and everything else I can hit decently. Maybe not the Skunk Tank actually. The Skunk Tank also is a problem for my Wheezing, but really this Weezing's job is to set up the Rain Dance and to tank hits from from the Darmanitan or anything else physical, so that I can try to predict her switch and then make a switch of my own and get that nice initiative. All right, up next we got my Gardevoir or Mega Gardevoir actually this week with the synchronizability just in case I get Prankster Thunderwaved or Thunderwave from the Drudagon, or Will-O-Wisp from the Trevenant, or Will-O-Wisp from the Darmanitan. Um, she's timid with 28 HP, 228 special attack, and 252 speed, rocking the Hyper Voice, Psychic, Calm Mind, and Rain Dance. The 228 special attack, what is that for? It's to make sure that I can 2-hit KO something. I don't remember right now. I really need to do these live and build my teams live, so I remember. But I know that it is a minimum 2-hit KO on something important, and then I just kind of put the remaining EVs into HP. Um, I have the Rain Dance again. It's not Damp Rock, but I can still get those 5 turns, which could be crucial. Especially if Gardevoir I know is gonna die that turn. I can throw up the Rain Dance and then still have 5 turns left of it, or 4 turns left for to bring in my Kingdra. Um, it's a calm mindset. I think I'll be able to set up on the Suicune. It's like Gardevoir has very good natural special defense. I don't see Suicune doing much damage to it, and so I can, if I have my webs up, I can calm mind without fear and then sweep his team, or pretty much sweep his team. Um, Obviously, the Hyper Voice and Psychic, 2 strong stab moves that pretty much hit everything on his team at least for neutral, and that's all I gotta say about that. Last but not least, we have my Kingdra with the Lumberry and Swift Swim. Obviously, you guys have seen I have 2 Pokemon with Rain Dance on my team. I'm going to try to be utilizing the Swift Swim ability to get a nice sweep with my Kingdra late game in this match. Kingdra's rocking a naughty nature this week with 42 HP, 156 attack, 100 special attack, and 204 speed. And that is the wrong move set because I didn't change it. So let's go in and change, and I'll just talk about it while I change it. It's rocking the Dragon Dance, the Waterfall, the Outrage, and the Ice Beam. Cool. All right, so Dragon Dance, obviously, that's going to be for setup. Waterfall hits pretty much everything on his team for at least neutral damage, barring the Suicune and barring the Trevenant and the Druddigon. I've got Outrage, which hits everything on his team for at least neutral. And then I've got Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is going to be for that Gliscor. If it's a physically defensive set and I don't have time to set up, I can still. I'd rather smack it with an Ice Beam than a Waterfall. That's pretty much my logic with that one. Also, the Nidoking. Actually, it shouldn't be taking Waterfalls too well, even if it is physically defensive. The Trevenant, it'll the Ice Beam will also hit the Trevenant, and it'll hit the Druddigon without me taking Rocky Helmet or Rough Skin damage. Um, the 100 special attack lets me OHKO Gliscor. 156. I went from there. Then I went to speed. 204 speed allows me to outspeed. Um, what's it allow me to outspeed? It allows me to outspeed something. Oh my god, I am awful at this. It allows me to outspeed something once I get a Dragon Dance up. I forget what. Then I put 156 attack in to make sure that I can either OHKO or two hit KO something after the Dragon Dance boost, and then I just kind of dump the rest into HP and special defense. Obviously, the threats for this Volt Switch, it's not going to appreciate Volt Switches from the Mega Manectric. It can't do much to Suicune if I haven't set up yet. The Outrages won't be doing much. I need one or two attack boosts from Dragon Dance to really be doing damage to it. The Druddigon, if it somehow is able to outspeed me, like if I'm under webs and he is not, and I don't have any Dragon Dances up, he can hit me with a Dragon type attack, which won't be appreciated. I'm not really fearing status because of that Lumberry, but if I do get statused and I get the Lumberry heal, then I'm gonna have to worry about getting confused later from Outrage. So, gonna have to watch out for that one. And besides that, I think I've covered all of Brit's threats. Unless she brings something unconventional, I think I've prepared as best that I can for her team. There were some sets that I was considering bringing, or some Pokemon that I was considering bringing, like the Heatran. I think Heatran could do well in this match, but she just has so many answers to it. What with the Gliscor and the Suicune and the Sock and the Darmanitan with Earthquake and the Nidoking with Earth Power. I just can't bring myself. I think it would be a really good anti-lead, and I could get rocks up with it, but I didn't have space for it. And then I also wanted the Eelektross. Again, I just didn't have space for it. And I was also thinking about the Celebi, but he can pursue trap that with Skunk Tank. He has the Leopard who can outspeed and just destroy me with uh, setup Dark Pulses. And he has that Darmanitan, obviously, who can smack me with a Choice Scarf Flare Blitz. He has the Leavanny, who can smack me with the X Scissor, Poison Jab, and Knockoff from Sock. Like, Ice Beams from the. He just has so many answers. I couldn't. I mean, why do I keep saying he? I'm just in the. Like, I'm. In my mind, there's just like. The league is filled with guys, so I keep saying he. I apologize for that, Brit. she has so many answers and so much coverage on her team that it's just so hard to prepare for. And I'm actually really nervous for this match. She did beat me last season. Um, and I kind of like looking at her team. This team is way better than her team last season. And I think that if she uses it correctly, she is going to absolutely destroy me. I already see like so many ways that she can beat my team right now, so we're just gonna have to hop into it and see how we do. All right, let's switch over to the match. All right, my internet still doesn't want to work on my laptop, so I got creative and am recording this match using my iPhone. I'm not really sure how this is gonna work. Screen recording from my phone onto my laptop, so if you see any notifications pop up from my phone, I apologize. It's just kind of, I mean, it's just kind of what I gotta do to get this match to you guys as fast as possible. Uh, as you can see, Brit has brought the Skunk Tank, Darmanitan, Mega Manectric, Leavanny, Nidoking, and Suicune. So potential leads here. Obviously, we'll just start from left to right. You got the Darmanitan, who can U-turn on me. You've got the Manectric, who can Volt Switch on me. You've got Leavanny, who can set up webs, and you've got Nidoking, who can set up Toxic Spikes or rocks. So I don't really have a good idea yet as to who she wants to bring in first. I don't see the Trevenant, which is great because that means I can high jump kick freely, and that means that I can final gambit freely. I don't see the Sock, which I was expecting, which is pretty nice. I don't see the Gliscor or the Leopard, so my Smurgle lead wasn't as enticing as I originally had planned it to be. Seeing this team, I think that like all of those leads that I mentioned, I can OHKO with a mixture of Fake Out plus either Earthquake or High Jump Kick from my Hitmonlee. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just hop into this match right now. We're going to lead off with Hitmonlee as she leads off with her Mega Manectric. She's going to Mega Evolve and Intimidate me, and I'm going to get the Fake Out crit. I don't think that the crit mattered in the long run, but it was nice to see. She switches out, expecting the EQ, I believe, into her Suicune, who tanks it like a champ. And knowing that I'm not going to be doing much to the Suicune, I switch out into my Smurgle, knowing that I can take at least one hit. And she goes to Extrasensory, which is a interesting choice of coverage moves. Definitely does hit the Hitmonlee. It hits the Wheezing. So I know she's got Extrasensory. It does about 42% damage. I'm not sure if I can take a Scald at this point. I didn't have Calcs up at this point in time. I don't run Calcs anyway, but even if I wanted to, I was on mobile. So there's no way I was going to be going back and forth like that. It would have been a pain in the ass. So I'm going to risk the Scald here, and I'm going to go straight for my Sticky Webs. She switches out into her Leavanny, and I take the opportunity to set up my rocks as she gets the knockoff crit. The knockoff didn't matter, but it does allow me to bring in my Hitmonlee, and she stays in for the Fake Out. And if she was sashed, which I think I confirmed after the match that she was, allowed me to break her sash with the Fake Out. And then I'm just going to go straight for the High Jump Kick this time. And she brings in this Suicune to tank the hit, and I only do about 37% damage, and she gets leftover recovery. I'm going to switch out here into my Gardevoir, knowing that I can take a hit, any hit from the Suicune, and she goes to the Scald and does about 27% damage. Does not get the burn, thankfully. And she switches out into Darmanitan as I just go for the Hyper Voice. I think Psychic was my play here, because I knew she didn't want to stay in. See, the only problem with going for Psychic was that she had the Skunk Tank. So if she predicted that I was going to go for the Psychic, then she would get her Skunk Tank in for free and scare me out and just go for the Defog. So I wanted to go for Hyper Voice. Actually, I do think that was the right play to go for. Although I did miss out on this KO against the Darmanitan, I still do a very sizable chunk of damage to it and knock it down to 17%. And I'm going to switch out as he into my disco balls, or my balls, as he U-turns out into his skunk tank. And as soon as I switched out into my Weezing, I realized that um, skunk tank is the perfect switch in. And this is like, if I bring in my Weezing and he is able to get a U-turn off on it, then he pretty much has a free turn to defog. And I've already lost my Smurgle. Why do I keep saying he? Oh my god, I need to get my head on straight. Sorry, Brit. Okay, she could defog freely, and with my Smurgle gone, my hazards are now gone. And that is a huge problem for me because I was really relying on my sticky webs to carry me through this match. Now she has a Darmanitan that is scarfed, that is outspeeding my entire team. She has a Mega Manectric that is outspeeding my entire team. I have to go for the Rain Dance here because I want to bring in my I want the chance to bring in my Kingdra and know that it is going to outspeed her entire team. So I go for the Rain Dance, and she brings out her Nidoking, which is fine with me. She sets up a layer of Toxic Spikes, and I HP Ice it. I didn't want to switch anything in to the Nidoking because I had no idea what it was running besides Toxic Spikes. I had no idea what kind of set it was. I didn't want it hitting anything on my team. I knew I could tank at least like one hit from it. I think Sheer Force Life Orb does Ice Beam does about 60% damage to my Weezing, so I knew I could tank a hit. So I go for the HP Ice. I know it's super effective. I want to see if this is a bulky set or a more offensive set. I only do like 29%, so this is clearly a more defensive set, or it has that HP investment at least. So I'm going to switch out here, and I'm going to switch out into my Gardevoir, or Mega Gardevoir, as he sets up his second layer of spikes. I get the normal status of poison. Thankfully, I don't get the toxic effect because there was only one layer of spikes when I switched out, and I go for the I outspeed and go for the Psychic, knocking out the Nidoking. She didn't really have anything that she wanted to switch in at this point. So definitely I understand that play that she made, sacking off for Nidoking. I'm taking poison damage, and here I don't outspeed the Darmanitan because my webs are gone. So I switch out into my Weezing, knowing that I can tank a hit, and she just U-turns, getting that nice switch initiative. So far, things aren't looking too good for me because she's just kind of playing around my team. She's got the U-turn, she's got the bulk on her team necessary, she's got the speed on her team necessary to beat me. And at this point, I'm pretty, like, I don't know what I can do yet. I still have 5 turns of Rain Dance up, but she brings in her Suicune versus my Weezing, which is great for her because in the rain, Scalds are going to be doing even more damage. So I'm going to just, I think stay in with my Weezing, and she Scalds and does 50% damage, and I Sludge Wave and do only 21% damage. This is a losing battle here, but so I decide to switch out back into my Gardevoir. I know I'm not going to be able to take a hit 2-0, but I think I can live 1 as long as she doesn't crit. I do end up living after the poison damage with 1% HP left, which I didn't know if I'd be able to do because I'm not calcing obviously, but I was kind of banking on the fact that I would. And I live with 1 HP, which allows me to get a huge hit off on something. So I go for the Hyper Voice as she brings in Skunk Tank, and I get rid of Skunk Tank, which is probably her most expendable mon at that point, knowing that the Mega Gardevoir is about to go down to poison. She doesn't need it for anything else. So we both drop on that turn. My rain disappears, and she sends out Leavanny as I send out Weezing. She goes for the Sticky Web, so now she has webs up and she has 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up. and there's not much I can do about that. I didn't bring the Rapid Spin on my Hitmonlee in the end, so I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Wave to knock out the Leavanny. With a crit, I don't think that mattered, and she brings in her Suicune again, and at that point I just gotta let my Weezing drop. So I'm gonna bring out my Hitmonlee here. So my rationale behind this was, if I bring in my Hitmonlee here, I know I'm gonna get Toxic, so I'm not gonna get burnt by the Scald. If she decides to switch anything in, they're gonna take Fake Out damage at least. If not, I know the Suicune's going to take Fake Out damage, and I know I can take a couple hits because Hitmonlee is just naturally especially defensive, bulky on the especially defensive side. So I can try to Fake Out and get a couple high jump kicks off. So that's what I'm going to do here. And she decides to stay in and go for the rest, which is pretty nice if she's not a sleep talk set. So I get my high jump kick off, and I do 38% damage, and I don't want her getting that residual recovery. And if she switches in her Darmanitan for whatever reason, I want to knock off its Choice Scarf. So I just go for the knockoff. I only do 20. She stays in, and I only do 20% damage to the Suicune. But getting the leftovers, getting rid of them was pretty big in my mind. Like, I didn't want her like just sitting there healing while she's sleeping. Jesus, look at all of these notifications. Anyways, so she's gonna get stuck in that third turn of sleep, and I'm just gonna go for the high jump kick. Thankfully I land, which means that if she doesn't want to stack her Suicune right here, she's gonna have to go for the rest, and I know that I can tank at least one more hit. So I'm just gonna go so I know that she knows that I can take a hit, and I'm banking on the fact that she's gonna go for rest and is gonna try to like break out of this 3-turn sleeping thing that she's got going on, and like maybe rest and then wake up on the first turn and just keep doing that until she wakes up earlier than the third turn. So here I'm gonna make an aggressive switch into my Kingdra, risking the Scald Burn on the wake up. But she does end up going for the rest again, just like I predicted. I get Toxic, but my Lumberry heals it, so I'm not worried about taking that residual damage. Well, I'm just going to sit and Dragon Dance up in the Suicune's face. I've got the attack raised, but now my speed is it's balanced out. It's back at normal again, and she brings out her Darmanitan. I know the Darmanitan outspeeds me right here, but I know that I can take any hit from this thing, because I quad resist Flare Blitz, which is huge. The U-turn's not going to be doing much to me. Earthquake isn't going to do much to me. Like, she doesn't have anything that I'm really scared of with this Darmanitan, so I'm just going to set up in its face still. I'm going to go for that Dragon Dance, and she goes for the Zen Headbutt and does 48% damage. At this point, she still is outspeeding me, so I know that I can take at least one more hit. So I'm going to go for that Dragon Dance again and get my speed to a nice what is the word that I'm looking for? I get my speed up to a point where I can outspeed her Darmanitan, and I know I can outspeed her Mega Manectric, and I'm sitting at a nice boost in attack. She sends out her Mega Manectric and gets the Intimidate off, but that doesn't matter much because I'm still sitting pretty. I knock it out with a Waterfall, and then she brings out her Sleeping Suicune, and I'm able to pick it off with an Outrage. So reasons why I think that this match went the way it did was because I think she didn't play her Suicune right. I'm not really sure. I think she should have switched out into Mega Manectric immediately when she saw my Suicune, and then started going for Volt turning shenanigans, and she could just keep on bringing in her Mega Manectric over and over again, and lowering my attack. So even if I was Dragon Dancing up, I wouldn't be getting the attack boost, I'd just be getting the speed boost, and she'd just whittle me down until I was dead. I was able to conserve my Estelgor in its final gambit, so I don't know, like, if my Kingdra would have dropped at some point, I still think I would have been able to pick up the win, because I still had to Hitmonlee in the back. So if I final gambit with my Excelgor, I still win because I have one remaining Pokemon left. If you guys don't know, when you final gambit with your last Pokemon, even if you knock out your opponent's final Pokemon, you still lose the match because you drop first before they do. So with all of these notifications, GG Brit. Everyone else, good luck in your Week 8 matches. And Steel City Snorlax are now at 5-3 with a, I think, what is our differential at right now? I don't know what it is at right now, but I'll get back to you guys on that. And you'll see it in the layout on the bottom of the screen. Anywho's, for now, this is Recon Jack signing